mission righteous the whole man. Raw splitting the sea into that clear sight. Go far intuition, lifting up that soul right. High low, high low, high low, high low. Elevate my love, generate my touch. Everything I see coming to me, I'm knowing. Proofs that I bear from the sowing. I just put in work to the morning, to the three bird that we heard. Stepping through the light, that's a rebirth. Giving thanks to life and the ether. I can never fall when I'm free word. Free bird, free word, free bird, free word, free bird. I'm Elo, I'm Elo, I'm Elo, I'm Elo. Sun rays like a satellite. Energies bring me back to life. Catch me chilling with the Elo. Universal flow, I belong here. Sun rays like a satellite. Energies bring me back to life. Catch me chilling with the Elo. Universal flow, I belong here. High low, high low, high low, high low, high low.
I fucking love
Thanks
you.
to the fire. High low, high low, high low.
Come on in. Okay, that's my key. No, this came on next. That just came on next. That's my key, though. Good day, peace.
Cheers
Good day,
today
good
is
people. Come
simple
on.
because it's just a cheers of gratitude. Because there's so many luxuries that we are afforded in this life that we tend to take for granted. So I just want to give God all the thanks today for great friendship, places that you can know you can run to, and people that truly have your back and
Yes.
understand you, and you can just be yourself, free, is the true blessing. So
That's it.
thank God for that blessing. And simply thank you.
Yes. Yes. Long life, prosperity, and abundance. Hey, beautiful people. Really bad connection. Hold up, we're gonna fix that. You know, just now, we're gonna fix that right now. She said, somebody said the connection is really bad. So we're gonna fix that right now. Give me just a moment though. Let me go ahead. Y'all gonna black out for a second in the changing of the network, but just give me just a moment. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Tell me if the connection is good. Tell me if you can hear me. You guys can hear the music all right. Please let me know. Let me see what's going on. Hi, Instagram. Hi, Instagram. Yes, let's bring the sketching up. Yeah, I'm gonna share really fast. But how would you guys say? Please let me know if the connection.
Hello,
How the connection is
everybody.
looking. I'll look and check for my phone. This one. Almost better. It is better. Tagging. Okay. That's a bride.
Yo.
That was it. Anyway, I think you guys didn't know what's been going on since we have not been recording so long. Okay. By the way, I do not own the rights to the music, number one. It is Spiritual Baptist music you're hearing in the background, so it's hymns that are older than even the people that are singing it. And I thank you guys for joining tonight. I've shared the live and everything. I know it's been so long since we've been just a little bit so you can hear us. But yes, I know I have a viewer. I don't know who it is, but thank you for coming. But yeah, it's been so long since myself and Nick have been online. And so much has transpired in that time. One, Nick has gone through her a spiritual journey and elevation in her path, and I wanted to give her time and space to go through it, process it, regroup, settle. And in the midst of all that, she also was moving, you guys. She relocated. So I wanted to bring that time to, just settle herself before we jump on to, being on social media and doing the live and the podcast. But it's a lot. Trying to ingest yourself to, trying to ingest yourself in a new path and understanding this new calling and everything that comes with it. And so now we're back. And I thank you guys for your patience, for waiting for us. Even when our time is today, I thank you guys for waiting for us. Because it takes some time to get back into the swing of things. Even for myself, not being home in Georgia, I've been traveling quite a bit. And so it's been a little bit difficult being able to ground myself to be able to do the podcast. However, neither here nor there, we were determined to get on tonight by any means necessary, even in the late hour if necessary. We were determined to get on and do what we needed to do to let you guys know, number one, that we love this space, we love the time that we share with you all. because we know the benefit that it brings. You know, there's messages that we get both Aiden and myself regarding how people are growing. You know, the impact that it has in their life. So that's the motivation. And so we were determined to come back on today and get the fire started and spark back up the flame. And even tonight, as you saw, we're going to talk about relationships. You guys may say, oh my God, we did 4 episodes of that already. But the lady that I work with, Oshun, and even the energy of Israel, I believe that energy works with the number 5. And so I think the episode didn't hurt anybody. And we're going to present some very different aspects than what we've presented before. And in hopes that it helps you, as it has been, and that you guys, of course, give us some feedback, interact with us, and engage with us. And again, I thank you for your time. And I want to, come back in and share her senses before we get into the flow of everything.
Well, a pleasant good night to everyone. Like Baba said, I went on a little journey of self-discovery, and I felt like it was a necessary thing to do, to take that time to really focus on myself and, expand on understanding who Rain is and what our role on this world is like. Like Baba said, we're going to cover relationships tonight. I'm like, oh, are we going to beat a dead horse? And no, we're not, because we're going to go into some different aspects and not to be limited to solely romantic relationships, platonic relationships, business relationships. All our interactions that we do each and every day are some form of a relationship. And because we are spiritual beings having a human existence, we have to learn to master this key element that is going to be in every aspect of our life. I am still on my journey of understanding relationships, but what I do know is that for me, I serve as some of the major character builders and has been the catalyst to so much change within my life. So I feel like the more we tackle something, even if it's external relationship, it ultimately leads back to the goal of what it is the divine purpose of this whole, of all of this, which is understanding self and understanding the Godhead within. So it's always going to be some form of relationship that you're developing, whether that relationship is with self, whether it's that relationship you have with money, whether it's that relationship you have with your family, whatever that relationship is, it's key to continue to be in this effort of mastery. And this is why we decided to present this 5th and final chapter of the relationship aspect of spirituality.
Awesome. And one of the things that been in discussion earlier, we were talking about, how do we come into a different room, and something that she brought up that I thought was pretty good was how relationships can initiate your growth in certain areas of your life regarding your holistic well-being, the spiritual well-being, causing you to see certain things about you. And I thought about that, and I found it to be very true. A lot of times we enter friendships. I'll start with friendships first, before we get into the intimate thing, but more so friendships too. You have these people that may be in your life, and you're in one space in one season of your journey, or may not even have initiated a spiritual journey and discovery at all. And then you start this journey, and you start to realize, one, how people truly see you, because maybe you were operating in a space where people could have easily taken advantage of you, may have used you, may have not encouraged you or empowered you to come into the fullness of who you are. And so some way, somehow the universe creates this distance, whether it comes from agreement, or whether it just comes by naturally creating space and separating, or something takes place. I call it the tower card, like the Oya experience, with something I know where just things heat up to a point where it creates a shift. And in that shift, you start to see things, see yourself, see how things played out, You start to question why things played out. And at least for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but at least for me, what I always try to do is check myself first. How could I have, you know, been wiser in my actions or my deeds? How could I have responded differently? Did I empathize, or was I aware of the full situation before I reacted or responded to something? All of these things. And so, how you ask, how did that impact you spiritually? When we get into spirituality, it impacts the process of the brain of awareness, being conscious and awareness. If we can become aware of how we're showing up, if we can become aware of how we're doing things, you become conscious about one, how you treat people. You become conscious about number one, how you treat yourself. And then it makes you think about, why am I this way? Why did I develop this characteristic? Why did I develop this behavior pattern? Or why do I see people this way? Or why do I may struggle with trust issues? And it initiates this healing, the shadow work. We were talking about that yesterday, the shadow work, the importance of shadow work, because you have to go into the depths of the dark parts of yourself. What would you have to say about that, Greg? What do you think about? I want to bring up this particular topic today.
Because when we think about our spiritual awakening, we think about what is the main catalyst that was us to think about these profound concepts in everyday life. And usually what prompts that is an interrelation of something. Usually share these experiences with the peoples that we are in relationships with. And usually based on their views, based on where their mindset is, it can shift or change how we do things. So when we think about how important it is to select the group of people that you have relationships with, because these are the people that will help shape your view of the world, help shape your spirit, help shape your understanding of energy. I felt like it was an important subject matter to cover, because the people that are around us that either help us through in how we're going to develop and mold, like, you know, when you're shaping a tree, you know, they're the support branches. You know, not just limited to like romantic relationship, but your friendships, your, you know, the relationships with the people you form at your job. Every relationship is an energetical thread that you're casting out into the world. And the same way you're sending out their energy, your energy is coming back towards you. Yeah. So, you know, these people and these relationships, whether it be simply the conversations that you have or just that energetical exchange, often impact how our journeys are going to ultimately form.
I agree with that. You know, because in my life, especially as a spiritual practitioner, I started pretty young, you know, doing this work as a practitioner, helping people and all of that. And so my friendship dynamics quickly shifted from like my friends I went to school with, I was in college with, and that I was with, socializing with. I didn't go out and hang out and socialize. But my time outside of school and work was helping people. And so I went into the season where my friends that were my friends in my social circle, I was not seeing them as much. I was not really with them as much. It's not that anything happened for that to happen, but I was in a different season, and it took a while. It took a while for me to develop friends again, or naturally develop friends. I was looking for friends, or I was in a space like, oh, I'm lonely, or I need friends. But he spoke about something about the building, you know, and this. As being a young practitioner, especially in a big city coming from Chicago, having a strong support system is very important, because I was in a space where elders that were also practitioners and a part of the community I was a part of were not very encouraging. And because I was very gifted, and I always was gifted, a lot of them tried to do some very effed up things. You know, and if I did not have a strong support system praying for me, praying with me, coming to keep me company in the times when it was hard, because my family relocated to the South before I did, and it was lonely. not having my family together, having family dinner, not having Thanksgiving and Christmas, not having these things together. So I needed that. And I can truly say that having solid spiritual people, praying people in my life, and that's helped me to get through. Now, are those same people present in my life today? Not at the same capacity. And for some, not at all. And so I had to realize again, time, place, purpose, and season. Realizing that, okay, for the space I was in this time and the season that I was in, the people that were in my life at that time were meant to be there. And they serve their purpose. And we move on. Doesn't mean that you lose connection. The connection is still there. If it's God ordained, you will always have a connection. But the relationship dynamic may shift or change. Now, presently speaking, I'm very grateful that I have a friend circle. I have even one of our other friends here with us right now. I'm very grateful for the friend circle that I have, because all of us are unique in our callings, unique in our gifts, and even in our life experiences. Love at the core of it all is that we hold each other accountable. You slip it. You need to sharpen up. Or when you are going to be on your job and be in your business to do X, Y, Z, and it comes with love, compassion, grace, and realness. Also, with my friend circle, I love the fact that we can be transparent, and honest about likes, dislikes, the space, the state of mind and condition that we are in, and the things that we may not be able to show with the outside world, when we can take our head ties off and the long protein, the big Baptist dresses and blue dresses, we can sit and have real conversation. And then when we're going through trouble, storm, hell, and high water, and these same people that are able to cover me, push me, be there to give me food sometimes when I can feed myself. You understand? And these things are very important. But I've also been in situations where I've had friends that were not that. And so we go to how does it shift? Sometimes you have to go through knowing what it's like to not have, and what it's like to experience some sour experiences with friendships and relationships and family dynamics, because you know what to look for when it comes to building and cultivating relationships, and then you further know what and how to value friendship.
For me, when I think about the roles that the people in your life play in spiritual awakening, I always think about my group of friends that I'm a part of, and how everyone within my group of friends have taught me something both spiritually and karmically. And that prompted me to force to think more, to want to explore more. So when you're intentional with the group of people that you surround yourself with, and the wealth of knowledge, and think about what role they're going to play within your life, it's the core of that seed to grow. Because if you're just a seed in an arid soil that's not fertilized, you're not going to grow. Now, sometimes we have negative experiences that force us to grow. I'm also trying to invoke more of the positive aspects of having relationships with intentions. So if you have a circle of people where you get to have these elevated levels of conversations, where they push you to think outside of the box, where you're fortunate enough to be able to have the gossip and the laugh, the regularities of life, but also have those conversations like, okay, so how do we picture ourselves in the next 5 years? And not just limited to the spiritual aspect of things, but the carnal aspects of how we're going to evolve as a unit, as a group. And I think it's important to start practicing intentional alignment. Because as I said, we're always throwing out these energetical fish hooks when we're interacting with people. And when we think about relationships, we like to think about relationships of the most close interpersonal circles. Sometimes it's the outer circle that helps you the most within your growth in life. You know, we could just talk about the carnal aspect of like networking
Yeah.
and making sure you are in the right circles at the right time to meet the right people to help you grow and elevate. I feel like as spiritual people, I was having this conversation yesterday. What's the point of having all this spirit if you can see it manifest within the carnal way within your life? We have the power to call. So why can't we call in healthy relationship in our lives?
Yes.
And a lot of times that has to do with a lot of the internal things that we don't deal with and a lack of self-love. And we can go into the whole triad of all of that. But as spiritual people, if we're able to call upon the true powers that be, we can call upon healthy relationships within our life. That's where spirituality and carnality work hand in hand. So the message that I would want to say when I think about spiritual awakenings and our relationships, when you become more spiritually aware, then you're more intentional with the relationships that you develop.
I agree. And you know, you don't get the awareness overnight. You don't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna start lighting candles and I'm gonna be spiritual today. I'm gonna start meditating and just become more overnight." It's a journey and it's a process. And a lot of times we have to be mindful of our prayers, because when we ask God to make a change in our life and we ask the universe to shift the people that are around us and the shift starts taking place, that's to live in a station of change. And it's not always, and sometimes it's the people that you least expect, because your perception of the dynamic may be one thing, but God knows the reality. And sometimes it's a protection. Sometimes you have to go through those situations to build you up. And even for me, I could tell you, like, from some real shit. It took my friends and me constantly hearing that I was taking a position of defensiveness that shifted something in me and really initiated a great deal of healing in my life, because we could have conversation and they could be coming from a pure place, maybe tell me something, and I would question why, or ask for understanding or explanation. Now, me in my position, I'm a person, I always like details and I like information. As you guys know, when I talk, when I teach, when I present, I like to give details. I give a lot of details, and I'm working on that. But I like clarity. And sometimes people would just give a one-off statement or whatever, and I would question that. But in my tone, not realizing that in my tone, in my questioning, in my explanation, it was taking a position of defensiveness. And I asked myself, why was that? Why did I have this energy, and where did it come from? And I realized that as a youth, there were moments and times with my parents that I did not feel heard or understood. And it took me back to experiences in my childhood when I would try to explain to my mom, and my mom would not listen. And I would try to explain myself, or act or whatever, or give clarity. And that it was not there, or the support was not there. And I realized that carried over into my adulthood. And I had to nip that in the bud to become more aware, to say, okay, you know what? Thank you. I had to thank my friends for highlighting that about my character, so that I could work on it, not just work on it, but also heal from whatever shadow self was resonating and walking with me from that little boy that was not heard and not understood by his mom. You know, I had to deal with that. And dealing with that, my receptiveness to criticism or advice or whatever correction was different. It became different, you know, and I was able to handle it better. I was able to receive it better and communicate better and listen better. All of that, you know, and so I was grateful for that experience, and how, again, I experienced something negative, and I was in this process. I had to do the self work and go inward to bring change. You know, Nick, what are some examples of, you know, someone your friends have helped you to, or experiences in relationship dynamics friendship specifically that that have caused you to heal or shift and catapult in your journey?
Before I answer that question,
Go ahead.
I want to reiterate this point. Relationships shape and mold us. Everything that we do, we're not solo creatures. We're animals. In the most animalistic sense of the way, we don't typically operate in isolation. We usually operate within a group or within a collective or some form. And these relationships are usually how we develop our perception of what reality is.
Yes.
So when we're intentional and mindful with what we're doing, we can cultivate a beautiful reality. To answer your question, for me, my relationships and my friendships are very important because my friends are my family. I always let everybody know that. Like, the way that I love my friends are no different from the way I love my lovers. And when I say that, people are always like confused, but it's only degrees of separation and intimacy. So the only difference between the love that I have for my friends versus a lover or an actual family member is maybe I'm sleeping with one and I'm not sleeping with the other. But the love for me is still the same. So when I invest that time, that energy in these relationships, they're always shaping me. They're always molding me. They're always teaching me to view the way I pick my friends and the way I talk about friends, the way that I pick my friends. They all play a very distinct and individualistic role. So it's like looking through many different lenses at the same time.
I like that.
So when I think about friendship and I think about what it's supposed to represent, it's the people that you go through life with, that you build memories with, that help develop your character.
Yes.
Because who we are, I might have each one of my friends may have a different perception of me because of the interactions that they have with me. But the change and the growth that they help bring within me is so specific. And I think like a lot of times that we just waste our energy on mindless associations that serve us no purpose. And
I like that.
People always say, get it the wrong way when I say I'm very purposeful in my relationships. I don't feel the need to have a lot of people in my life just to really have a lot of people in my life. If you can grow me in some form of way or teach me something or improve my life in some way, or do I just genuinely enjoy your company, then there's no purpose for me to have you within my life. Because I understand that I'm constantly being shaped by the people around me. Most people don't want to admit that because they want to live in this ideology that I'm an island. We're not. That's just not how we operate as humans. So if we as spiritual beings are more aware and we're supposed to be more enlightened, that's the whole point of having these interactions with higher consciousness, is to truly just be more aware. With that awareness becomes a responsibility of being intentional.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. I like that. That's a question. Ask yourself: do you know the roles that the people in your life play that you call friends? Whether these are your people you call friends, the people you made your family, your sisters that you made family. Do you know the role that you play in life, and do you know the role they play in your life? Because sometimes we could just be taking up space unnecessarily, and we asking us why this person ain't treating us a certain kind of way or not, connecting with us on a certain level, not realizing they don't have us at a certain place that we may have them in our life. And we have to adjust and balance it. That's something that one of my exes always taught me. Autumn always told me. She said, placement is important. Placement of people in your life is important. And when you can properly place people in your life, you're not as stressed out about folks. You're not as concerned. You're not overdoing your part, and you're not looking for the people that are looking for you.
I feel like that was a very pill in reality for me to swallow.
Me too.
Was learning my position in people's lives and learning my level of importance in people's life. I think because I'm so intentional about everybody that I let into my life that I couldn't view it the other way of just having mindless interactions. But for some people, like you said, you're just taking up space in your fuck the world sea of people, you know. And I feel like the gratitude that I have for the circle of people that I've been able to meet and be around and experience with shows me that when you are specific with the universe, because I think like a lot of times not specific with the universe, with what we want and what we desire, especially in friendships. We may do that for a romantic partner, but I don't feel like a lot of people space the same energy in having in these well-crafted friendships.
Hey, friend. We have friend in the building. Hey, friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have arrived. Team. When your team shows up, when your people shows up, you understand. When your people shows up, but it's true. That was definitely a hard pill to swallow because the reason she had to tell me that week because when I realized I was overly extending myself, I was the designated driver. I was showing up, and nobody showing up. I'm planning birthday parties, planning trips. I was doing everything. Don't let my friends and them be in need or be without, and I have because I'm giving you everything I have. My mother hated that. She couldn't stand it, but that's the nature that God gave me. But God had to also, I had to learn that God didn't make us a fool. And we have to have wisdom and discernment.
To answer your question, Frank, the topic of conversation is, I will sum it up as intentionally as a moving with intention and the power of our friendships that, are building how it shapes and molds our lives. I feel like when even if you in one relationship may have sown a lot, I feel like the universe always blesses
Thank you, Frank, for letting me know. I'm going to get it adjusted because Nick is on the way, and I do not want that to mess up. No.
Are we back?
Just now. 1 second, friend. I'm fixing it. Give me a second. Put the correct password in there. I'm changing network. Bum, 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 bum. flowing. Oh my God. We're testing. We're testing you guys on the low, and their vibes is ending. Real good vibration in the background. Okay, y'all. Race is flowing. Every time, I don't know if you guys notice, but every time there's a retrograde, we have connection problems. And what make it worse, I'm not even home. I'm not in Georgia. So for all my viewers, I do apologize. Every time it's a retrograde, we have connection problems. And this big old moon, I hope you guys are paying attention. Oh, this retrograde ain't easy. It's not easy. YouTube over there as well. Like all the way. Okay? Like go. Thank you. The moon is pretty and all, but the energy that my network, no. Thank that. And, but anyhow, we're gonna travail through it all. Because we're some troopers. We're gonna persevere with some troopers. Rain was on a wave. I want to roll a joint to that madness. Rain.
Now, do I remember the wave? Y'all know I don't because the ADHD, but what I'm gonna say is this.
We were talking about the journey of, we were talking about how it was a tough lesson for us to get to a place of learning placement of people in our lives and of us in people's lives as well.
So I feel like place in a person's life, I've learned to act accordingly and not take it personally because maybe I just don't serve a necessary purpose within your life at this moment. And I feel like we get so caught up in our ego about, why doesn't this person treat me this way, or why maybe it's just predestined that that's the interactions that you were meant to have with this person. But what I've been trying to do is shift my perspective to like, I know I've sown a good seed regardless of how that specific person's treated me, and I'm going to get people within my life that are going to treat me the same way, because energy has to come back. It has to come back to you. But now it's just that you have to be more intentional with how you interact with your placement in these people's lives. After you accepted it, and you move past it, the official, like the initial feeling is always that ego feeling. Like, why can't you care about me or show me your, positive intentions when I'm showing it to you? But I realize sometimes we're just not purposeful in that person's life. But we're going to be purposeful in somebody else's life. And I think once we remove the ego of it all, it makes the interactions easier.
Ooh, okay. Break down to the people. That's such a strong statement. I think we got to talk about it a little bit because that's really the strong powers of even making the determination and the discerning placement. What makes someone? What would you say is a template or just a general template of making someone purposeful? How do we define purpose in a relationship, especially with a friendship? Because friendship and relationship, intimate relationship, is a different dynamic. But how do you define purpose as a friendship?
Like I said, for me, in every relationship that I have, everybody has a distinct role that they play. Like, Prince right here, that's my man of mystery. If I need to know any information, I know I can go to him, and he's going to probably have to get the answer. So I'm intentional with every role that somebody plays, so I know how much energy to feed that person and what to expect. If you have a small distinction within my life, you might just be the person that I call when I want to go out on a Friday, But that's okay because that's the distinction. So I know how much I don't have to feel like I have to call you every day. Or I won't feel like I have to check in with you all the time because I know the roles we play within each other's lives. And that should go for friendships as well. Understand that we may not be what they need at the moment in a friend,
I like that. That's fair.
And sometimes you may have been what that person needed in that time and time period of their life. You know, because as I said, all these relationships are molding us whether we accept it or not. Because we are a reflection of everybody. We talk about soul tribe, we talk about our soul family, and all of this stuff. We're all interconnected because we're just one consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these relationships that we're having, and that's why I said for me, and this is something I always say about myself, relationships are major catalysts of change within my life. Especially, well, for me, it has been romantic relationships that have truly held a mirror up to me to help me learn about myself.
So let's go into that. You initiate that. Let's talk about that. How romantic relationships have caused you to see yourself.
Because when you're operating in isolation, you may have think you've gotten past these triggers, or you may have think you've moved past certain traumas, or you may not even understand how you will react in certain situations because you're just dealing every day with yourself or people who know how to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into romantic relationships, especially initial getting to know you phase, sometimes this person may unintentionally trigger you. And you're like,
yes,
wait, I thought this, you know, or this person may say something that might bring you back to a place of trauma that you thought you moved past, because they're still operating in the stage of getting to know you. And now you've added in things like sex and lust and desire and all these other factors in romantic relationships. This is what I'm talking about, not platonic friendships, that add added levels of connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
So you're literally always being shown aspects of yourself. Like I recently had these like revelations through your romantic relationships, because ain't nobody gonna piss you off more than the person that you're loving.
Oh, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. I can definitely say I've had some amazing relationships, and my last one caused me to really how do I say it? Advocate for my peace and learn how to do that, because I was still in a space of doing and extending myself and giving of myself, you know, energetically, emotionally, and even putting some of my wants and needs on the back burner until I got to the point where I said, fuck it, and I started to do what I wanted to do. But in doing what I wanted to do, the energy of peace was not present. It was not peaceful. Communication wasn't peaceful. We could not reconcile. We could not communicate in a mature manner. You know, and I say we because I don't want it to be a blame of him and versus me type thing. But in that dynamic, and me coming to the realization like, yo, you went through your life relationships and your dating thing peacefully and having good connections with people. Why start to go into a space of turmoil now? And it was knocking on the door of my birthday. And I said, yo, it was January. And I said, yo, I don't want to enter the season of my life in torment when I could choose peace. I'd rather be by myself, dealing with my clients and my students and working, than live in turmoil. And in that, what it caused me to realize was like, yo, this is big. You set it up for yourself, because you would have just pushed you or make it work or whatever. And I said, no, I have to choose peace. And that shifted me in realizing like, yo, if you don't advocate for yourself, and if you don't put your foot down, and if you don't learn how to say no or enough is enough, you will find yourself on this spiral and on this wheel of constantly putting yourself on the back burner and not getting anywhere, or being thrown into a space of you being messed up or your heart being messed up, you know. And so it was a process that I needed to go through. as to how do you wish to coexist with the mate? How do you wish to coexist with people, period? Do you like these parts of yourself that are coming out? Do you like the parts of you are seeing? Do you like these feelings that you are feeling? You understand? And until you go into that space to feel and see yourself in that space, you don't know what it's like. And sometimes you got to go down and see what that energy is like to say, yo, let me identify it, feel it, know what it is, so I know I don't want to go back there again. And I also am aware when it starts to creep up, so I know when it's time to make my way up in the situation. You understand that? As I feel this really fast.
I feel like one aspect that I want to stress in any relationship, whether it be friendships, romantic, or whatever the relationship is key to never lose yourself. Always hold to your identity. Yes, compromises are good. Anytime you start to compromising more of yourself than you would like to, it's important to know when it's time to disengage, because as I said, we're constantly being shaped by the people that we're interacting with. And I feel that, when we operate from a place of understanding that, it makes it easier to walk a particular path.
I like that.
I feel like investing your time and your energy into places where you can say, like, okay, if I develop and cultivate this friendship, I know I have somebody that's always going to have my back, somebody that's always going to ride with me, somebody I can truly grow with, somebody's going to teach things, somebody that I'm going to have all these amazing experiences with.
And I also want to say this too, to build on what you're saying, and I think you're going to like this. Someone you can be authentically yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
Friends and romantic partner. You should be able to be your authentic self. You shouldn't have to put on and put off to make them feel comfortable to accept you. Someone that loves you and is truly divinely connected to you is going to love your good, bad, and your ugly. They're going to love that you like to wear pink hair and you blacker than the berry and sweeter than the juice, but you want to wear pink and purple hair. Baby, we love you. You understand?
Every day.
They're going to like that, But there's things. And your friends are not going to judge you. Your mate is not going to judge you. They will authentically love you for who you genuinely are, but help you be the best version and the wisest version of that. Does that make sense?
Something like the saying that has been my new mantra that I've been putting into the universe. Whoever is coming into my life, you just got to be able to flow with it. To get to know me, yes, I'm an earth sign, but I'm really an air sign for real. So you have to be able to move with me like the wind. So that when I say that, what I mean is that if you're coming into my life or if you're in my life, you understand that I'm here and flowing, and you're not trying to curtail me. You're not trying to do anything but experience Shanique the same way I'm trying to experience whoever you are. And if we can flow together and create harmonious memories together, then that's great, because that means we're both existing in our, as Ricky says, authentic of ourselves. I feel like in so many relationships in life, we're forced to put on masks. When you go to work, when you first meet somebody, they always talk about you need people to represent before you actually meet them. Now with Shanique, they'll tell you you're gonna meet, and it's gonna be big from the very beginning. But I feel like if more people operated from that standpoint, then we wouldn't waste our time in a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Whether that be friendships, whether that be romantic, if people just showed up as themselves from the very beginning and give people choice, like, I like your personality, or I don't feel like we would work out, whether it be in a friendship or otherwise. Because I feel like we've come into this earth with a chart and a compass to find our people, to find our soul tribe, to find the relationships that are meant to be within our lives. I feel like sometimes you may have to filter through some, people that don't belong within your story. But even those people that don't belong within your story, if you've interacted with them, they serve a purpose.
I was just thinking that. I think it's even the ones that ruffled you, others made you feel some kind of how, belittled you, caused you pain, suffering, all the negative things that you don't like. And it still may not be present. You're like, okay, it was just for a day, just something. It wouldn't last long. But if you think about it, look over, truly realize, you will truly realize they impacted and played a role in your life some kind of how. They impacted you how. They caused something to wake up inside of you. If that fight to wake up that was sleeping dormant, if that confidence that woke up that was sleeping dormant, if that self-realization and moving from fantasy to reality, needed to happen. All of those things, sometimes we have to look at the full spectrum. My grandmother used to always say, everything that happened to me was good, God did it. And everything the devil thought he meant for bad, God turned it around for my good. I always remember that. No matter what negative thing may try to come my way or present itself as a negative or present itself as a form of adversity to stop me or slow me down and deter me, God, with the alchemy of it all, as spiritualists, is not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it and what you do with it. And so relationships now, the intimate relationships that we build, of the mirror, looking at the element of duality, looking at the element of yin and yang. That means your mate is not going to be perfect, but throughout this journey and being real with each other, meeting each other where we are, you got to be honest with yourself and know what genuinely works for you and what genuinely does not work for you. And then moving forward to now cultivating this relationship from a space of realness, honesty, compassion, patience, humility, because sometimes we've gone through so much things from other people, other relationships, even from family dynamics, to love, and all the wrong places. We've gone through then we end up to find a good thing, and we don't know how to treat them, we don't know how to handle them, or we get a boatload of lists and expectations before even getting to know them and then getting to know us, and things go sour. Because we don't operate from compassion, humility, and patience, and realizing that, look, just like you struggle with something, most likely the man or the woman attracted is struggling with something too. Now we can get past the struggle and develop a level of love and kinship and realness. We can these things, transfer about these things, and then create some form of plan and or solution to help us grow individually and to grow collectively. A lot of times we miss that element because I'm looking for my confidant, my mama, my sister, my friend, my everything, my daddy, my son, and everything else. There's no boundaries, there's no balance, and there's no real clarity. And so we go through these experiences. The point of it is to shift out of it, to get into something where we can be in a more balanced dynamic, both within our friendships and within our romantic partnerships. And if we use the wisely, go through the experiences wisely, go some far places in our lives and have some really powerful dynamics. A lot more people will be happier. I hear that. Like a lot more people will be happier in their lives. People will be more happier in their lives if they be more real with themselves and real with the people around them. Not afraid of judging, not the individual to judge someone. You know what I mean?
I agree. I feel like once you dedicate yourself to yourself, then the relationships that are meant to be in your life and the time that it's. I feel like the more you value yourself, the higher you vibrate, the higher types of relationships attract. Because I think about the relationships that I've had in my life when I was at my lowest, and I think about the relationships that are garnering my life now as I continue to ascend that vibrational ladder. And there's very different quality of people when you start to vibrate at a level, you realize you lose these worries of like, oh, if somebody starts to relate to me the same way, because you know of people that you are attracting are coming from the same levels of vibrational frequencies. Like I used to be at a place of thinking like, well, even the people down there in the low frequencies, they need love too. But you gotta also be mindful that when you attach yourself to certain energies, they will get with them.
Yep. If you're not strong enough, if you don't know how to clean that energy out and transmute it, and you're not strong enough, it will bring you down. Yeah. And let me say this too. Some of us are meant to go to places and meet those people, but it's not to stay there. Let me go down with you so I can understand with you, empathize with you, and understand the process so I can better help you. And then the beauty is to know how to get out of that space. Sometimes people go down and they get lost and they get stuck. And then when the universe snatches them out, they can't catch themselves. They can't catch themselves because they get lost themselves. They lose themselves. Never. Rain said it earlier. Never. Don't lose yourself. If you find yourself in lost and confused, the best thing I recommend for you to do is press the pause button. Don't be embarrassed. Feel like you have somebody to be satisfied. Press the pause button. The pause button is safe. Pause button allows you to be still and say, yo, what is going on with me? Let me come to understand a little bit better. Let me move a little bit better and get through. You understand? Because if you keep going, lost and confused, what's going to happen? You'll stay lost and confused. So press the pause button and reassess. And in your reassessment, move accordingly.
I feel like I have a message for healers and especially for those of us that are placed here to have these many interactions with people who may be vibrational frequency that might be a little bit lower, who may need a little bit more attention and to find your solitude, find people that are going to go to you and help you pull you out. The healers need him too. The empaths are people to have empathy too. So make sure when you're creating your relationships, make sure you find a team that are like-minded people who will support you and build you up. Because as a healer, you can't run from these interactions that you will have. That's your purpose here on this earth as an empath, to feel those that may have feeling and processing the emotions of so many people. So make sure that you're building up your good solid foundation so that you can be supported as well. I really pray that we all find our tribe of people, because as I said, we're pack animals and we need each other. And don't be afraid to feel like you need a person. I know we live in this society where they see that as a sign of weakness, and that there's a need for other humans, but that's what God did, to have these multiple relationships, to build community and to have a collective identity. We're not meant to be so solitary creatures, So when you're praying, and my prayer for everyone tonight is pray for good people come into your life. Pray for people that's going to show you unconditional love, because love today is so conditional. If you do for me, then I do for you. Sometimes you just got somebody to love you just as you are and encourage you to become better. I pray that we'll have the support that we need to make it through these hard times, because the world is kind of crazy right now.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes, it is.
Find people, whether it be romantic, it be platonic, whether it be familiar, if you're blessed great family, cherished. I feel like families are dying. The idea of like going over the ground, having that is slowly dying. Let's prioritize that. We have the ability to change that. We're at an age now, some of us are having children, some of us are actually starting families. Prioritize the connections of families. Create your own family if you haven't been fortunate to come from one. So you have that security net of people that are gonna hold you accountable, that is gonna carry you through life, that's gonna want the best for you to see you succeed. That's gonna be your personal cheerleading squad that's gonna show up for you.
Yes.
I pray for that. I pray that experience that within the timeline and within this, I feel like as we wrap up this series of relationships, to prioritize the relationship with yourself. Spend time with yourself. Appreciate yourself. Tell yourself you love yourself.
Hello.
Look,
take some time to look in the mirror and admire your beauty. Look in the mirror and admire your beauty. Ren's name is Beauty, but this is Beauty. That's it. Hello. But yes, take time and look in the mirror and really get into speaking life into yourself. You do just have to. No, it is not easy out here in these spiritual streets, but all of us have to put into check every day. It is some form of strength and empowerment and encouragement that we need from the universe every day. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And so, don't think we haven't made it, you guys don't, or you haven't made it. We gotta speak life. We gotta sometimes walk the floor and talk to God. Sometimes we gotta roll up out of bed. Sometimes we gotta get on the floor and roll around and talk to the Spirit. You got to get down into prayer. And just pray and talk to God, but really talking to ourselves. Because mom and dad and sister and brother and auntie and brother, my uncle was not giving us the love and the encouragement and the empowerment that we needed. Not saying they didn't love us, not saying they did not want the best for us, but maybe they didn't know how to verbalize, convey some of those things that we needed to make parts of us whole. And so guess who has to do it? It is your responsibility first, not your man, not your boo, not your woman, not your side piece and it's spicy. It is your responsibility to see and make sure that you go and get your people. For all you men out there that's working hard and laboring hard, it is not gay to get your feet into and clean the dirt out your nails. Stop giving your wife your eyes with your nails. Brush your teeth and clean your tongue. Clean your feet. You don't want to smell them stinky feet at night. And you scrap it up. You know what I'm saying? So when Miss Lee started to rub your feet, and your wife don't want to do it. Then your girlfriend, you don't feel good about yourself. When you see the before and after, you don't feel good about yourself. Some of you women need to go down and get a good deep tissue massage. You spend $40 and $50 on weave, $100, $300 on weave. Go spend an hour in the massage parlor and get your back right. Go see a chiropractor and get broken and put back together again. So you can, see about yourself holistically, aesthetically, visually. You understand? I know too. I wish I could be a little bit more primed with getting my beard cut a little bit more. But I didn't get there. The other things. I said it to say, Ray said, don't be ever trying to love other folk and tell other folk how to love if you're not taking time to love yourself. Love you all. We thank you for your patience. do. And we're coming again, and we're coming and coming and keeping on coming. And so I think you got some patience. Pray for more doors to open, and we pray for more doors to open for you. Pray for abundance and prosperity for us. We pray for abundance and prosperity for you all. Pray for peace, because the world needs peace. We are in a troubled land all over all four corners. I for the better, because change can bring worse, or change can bring good. We pray for divine change for the betterment of mankind. This is my prayer for you all. I pray that you have a beautiful night and that you rest well. And that for those of you that have the opportunity, you come on in later, but share the live, share it so that someone else can benefit from the message today.
Say I missed you guys a lot. This has been such an outgrowth for me. It seems strange to believe, but I don't talk on camera, or much less talk at all, you know. So it's been a pleasure to be able to share my thoughts and my views that are usually just in my head with everyone. And I appreciate that you guys have been coming in and joining and even watching this live after, because it gives us the hope to keep going, to know that, you know, we may be small right now, and you know the purpose is not to be for each person, but to truly share these conversations that we're all having on our kitchen tables and grow from it. So I pray that we truly take something away from these conversations that we're having and apply it to our everyday life. That's my prayer for the podcast, that we're able to touch somebody and truly aid somebody's and hope will grow and be like, you know, I learned something from watching Baba and Rain, and they really taught me like how to view the world differently, or expanded my consciousness or something. So that's all my intention. So I pray that we've been to someone, even if it's just once. Continue to watch as we continue to grow as a podcast and get better and better and better.
Love you all. Have a beautiful night.
I love sun rays like a satellite. Energies bring me back to life. Catch me chilling with the halo. Universal flow, I belong here. Keep that focus on that starlight. God of my universe, part of my mission, righteous the Almighty. Ross leading us into that clear sight. Go far intuition, lifting up that soul right. I love. I love, I love, I love. Elevate my love, generate my touch. Everything I see coming to me, I'm knowing. Fruits that I bear from the sowing. I just put in work to the morning, to the three bird that we heard. Stepping through the light, that's a rebirth. Giving thanks to life and